Hello, everyone. This is the disembodied voice of Susan Lynn. I'm here to just add a little extra something to the beginning of this video, and that is that evil souls are a very hot topic, right? You may disagree with me, and that is perfectly fine, of course. I will say that in this video, I'm talking about physical abuse, so if that triggers you, please skip the video. Also, I would say that the views expressed in this video are those of my spirit guides. You may, again, disagree, and that's perfectly fine. I would just ask that if you disagree, please do so politely in the comments. As I say in the video, nobody knows for sure the real answers here until you cross over and/or you potentially are God or the creator itself. I don't think any of us are going to really know all the answers. But in this video, I really try to channel my spirit guides and give you the information that they give me. Thanks. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is another in our series of Way Out Wednesdays, which I do on Wednesdays. And we're going to be talking about, do evil souls, what happens when they cross over? Do they go to heaven? Do they go to hell? What happens to them, right? And what is an evil soul anyway? Is there a specific, definition of an evil soul? So we're going to be talking about that today. And I would say to you that you can go to my main channel, which you can click on the logo, and you can see playlist along the tabs. And you can click on that. And you can see all of my Way Out Wednesdays, where I talk about topics that are way out there for some and not so way out there for others. So let's get started. What makes a soul evil, and what happens to them when they are evil, right? So what makes a soul evil is when they do something that's outside of their soul contract. So when you take something too far, right? So we've talked about this in the past. We talked about soul groups in the past. I have a video on that. We have a group of souls in between our lives that we incarnate with. And within that group of souls, you might be a mother one time, you might be a father the next time, your brother might be your sister. So you play roles for each other on the earthly plane to learn lessons. Now, we come to Earth as souls because this is an advanced planet. We have free will here. There's many, many existences and planets that don't have free will, or that are not blinded or, have amnesia about why they came there. So there's other existences that you can telepathically communicate with each other. And I vibe with this person. I don't vibe with this person. Makes it very simple, right? There's no betrayal or crime or anything like that because everybody knows what everybody is thinking. But here, we have amnesia. We don't know why we came down here. We don't remember that we're psychic. We don't remember that we have these abilities. And we have to kind of start from scratch every single time we reincarnate down here. So when we're up there in our soul group, we say, hey, will you teach me this lesson in my next life? Will you be my husband? Will you be an SOB and beat me up? Because you know what? I need to learn a lesson to stand up for myself. I've had 5 lives where I just can't quite get this lesson. And I know this is going to be it. I'm going to get it this time. Okay. So he goes, yeah, I'll do that for you. And you're going to be the kind of person that makes me want to beat you up, right? You're going to push my buttons and push my buttons and push my buttons until I explode. So I'm going to learn to not explode. So in this way, we're going to teach each other our lessons, right? Now, maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. Now, is that evil? No, because you guys decided that this is what you wanted to happen, right? Now, what would be evil is if this guy has this contract with his wife to beat her up. He doesn't have a contract to beat up his kids. He doesn't have a contract to beat up his girlfriend that he has on the side, or a random person walking down the street. Do you understand? His contract is with his wife. She has a contract. He has a contract. They're supposed to work this out. But this guy gets down here and he has this energy of rage, right? Because he needs to do his contract, except for that he takes it too far. Instead of just trying to control his rage, even though his wife is pushing his buttons, instead of him trying to say, I need to calm down, I need to seek help, he punches her. Well, that's kind of what they agreed to do. At that point, she's supposed to say, you punched me, I'm out. That's my lesson. His lesson was not to punch. Her lesson was, if I get punched, I leave. Now, we all know that's not how it works out. Usually, this dynamic has to play out many, many times before we learn our lessons. Sometimes the law has to get involved, right? Sometimes the law has to come in and say, you can't do this, we're going to put you in jail, right? Now, where it becomes a problem is this guy loses it. He not only doesn't learn his lesson that he's not supposed to punch his wife, but he loses it and he starts punching his kids. And then he goes to his girlfriend on the side and beats her up. And then he gets mad at his friend and beats him up. Okay, well, now he's gone way outside of his contract. He's gone rogue. He's gone rogue. That is not what was supposed to happen. Not only did he not learn his lesson, but he let that energy take him out of control. So now this goes into that category of kind of evil in a sense, because he hasn't done what he was supposed to do. So now when he crosses over, he's not going to be met by his soul family. He's going to be met by these loving, healing energies that are going to grab him and envelope him in love and compassion, because that is what it is. Our God, or God consciousness, or the universe, or the big computer in the sky, or whatever it is you believe, believes that at our core, we're all good, and that every soul is salvageable. Every soul is rehabilitatable. So they rehabilitate him. So he doesn't go back to his soul family. He goes into a healing place. And then from there, he may or may not get the opportunity to come back and incarnate back on Earth immediately, because Earth is an advanced school. And if he can't handle his own impulses, his own free will impulses, then he may not be able to do well on Earth school. So he may go from this healing center, quote unquote, to an existence where they don't have as much free will, or where his thoughts are instantly known. So he can't really act out on this violent energy that he was imbued with. Does that make sense? So if he goes to an existence where everybody can see what everybody's thinking and communicate back and forth, then he's not going to, he's going to come in with this aggressive energy and people are going to back up. So he's not going to have that ability in this other existence that's not Earth. So in that way, he can train his soul again. Okay, when I'm aggressive, people back up. When I'm aggressive, people back up. When I'm aggressive, people back up. That's training him. Don't be aggressive. People are chill with him. So he's saying, okay, let me get rid of the aggressiveness. So it's retraining his soul. Okay. Now, had he come to Earth and did his contract, and maybe let's say he beat his wife up, but nobody else, and he was an SOB to her, and we're staying with him, and then he crosses over, he's still not going to go to his soul group, because that was a hard life. That was a hard life. So he's going to still go to the healing center. He's still going to be met with compassion and love. And he's going to go to the healing center. And then if he can heal from that, he'll go back to his soul group and go on with his journey of evolution. Same thing for her. She was supposed to learn to stand up to him if he punched her. She didn't. He punched her. She stayed. He punched her again. She stayed. She stayed for the kids. Not judging. She did the best she could. I'm not judging anybody. Her lesson was to leave, but she just couldn't understand how to do that. These lessons are not easy, folks. This woman has no money. He's the breadwinner. What is she going to do? Go be homeless with her kids? These lessons are not easy. So she stays because she stays for the kids. Maybe while she's staying, she's stashing money away so she can get away. Maybe while she's staying, she's making a deal with the neighbor on the down low that she'll watch their kids and stay home and be a nanny if she can live there with her kids. She might be making plans. She might be trying to make the best of it. Whatever it is, she's working out her lesson. Maybe he works out his lesson. Maybe he goes to jail and then he goes to a rehabilitation program and he gets anger management and he actually becomes a decent husband or a decent father and is very apologetic and works to repair those bonds. That's what we're supposed to do. That's his contract. He's supposed to, oh my God, I hit you. I'm going to go get help. Or, oh my God, the police are here. I'm going to go get help. However that works, right? So does that make sense? It's not evil until you go beyond whatever the contract is. And then once it's evil, then they got to deal with you in a different way because you went, I don't know how to describe it, but you broke universal law. Earth School is so advanced that we have the ability to break universal law. That's a heavy deal. Our souls, when we got here, have had so much experience that they gave us the ability to break universal law with our free will. So, that explains a lot to me. I don't know about you, but it explains a lot to me. So, some next level up. Next level up is, let's say you have, a serial killer is the same thing, right? So maybe they were supposed to. Maybe they went into a soul contract with 2 people or 3 people. Who knows? I don't know. And maybe that was within the universal law, but then he went on and killed 10 more people. That's not within the universal law. And that's why a lot of these people don't want to cross over. They know they did wrong. They know that they broke on some inner deep soul level. They know that they went too far and they become ghost because they don't want to be judged. They don't know what's going to happen. Our Christian or our religious mindset down here is you're going to burn in hell. So they're like, I'll pass. I'll just stay as a ghost, right? And I think that's why sometimes we feel that evil. When we go into someone's house, we're like, whoo, something evil is in there. I think it's one of these discarnate energies that refuses to cross over. Right? So what else do I need to tell you about that? When you have really bad, big, evil people, I think that they're put in a place. And maybe this is where, again, religion maybe was overtaken by the power. I want to control these people, but I think there's a lot of the origins of some of our religious text makes sense. Like, thou shalt not kill your neighbor, right? I mean, it makes sense. And I think in this way, hell makes sense, in the sense that if you have somebody like a Hitler, they're not gonna reincarnate here. They're going to have to be rehabilitated for so long and be separate from other souls for so long that it can seem like a hell, right? Maybe it's their own personal hell. Maybe they feel like it's hell because they're experiencing what they did to other people. And maybe that's why it feels like hell. But I don't believe in a hell, because that's punitive. While Hitler is experiencing that, he's being healed. His soul is being healed. Souls don't die. So we need to heal them. We need to regenerate them. So that's where they would go, and that's what would happen. Also, if you have a family member that's had mental illness, they said, okay, I want to go to Earth and I want to experience mental illness. Okay, well, here they are, and here they are experiencing mental illness. Maybe during that time frame of that mental illness, they did some really terrible things to their family. Maybe it was abusive. Maybe it was emotionally or psychologically or physically abusive. Well, when they die and cross over, they're not just going to go to their soul family and be like, high five, I jacked that person up. I messed her up. She's going to need therapy for 30 years. That's not exactly how it goes. Yes, that was your contract. And hopefully you stayed within that contract and you didn't do anything extra. But even if you stayed within that contract, if you did dark things, inhumane things, you need to be healed. You will be healed. You will be taken to a place. You will be separate. That's why I feel, as a medium, when I'm trying to contact someone that was really abusive, sometimes I can't talk to them because they're in this healing place. And no visitors are allowed, right? They're in a place where you can't visit, where you can't get, you can't talk to them. And if you do talk to them, it's very minimal, and it may just be an apology. It's not going to be, it depends. But if they're really done something wrong, sometimes we don't want to talk to them. The human, even though we say we do. Can you please dial up my dad? He was an SOB and he beat the hell out of me, but I really want to talk to him. We say that mentally, but we don't really mean it. We're still scared. And so they don't come through because our body is like, no, you don't really want to do that. You're not ready for that. You're not ready for that connection. So they don't come through for a couple of different reasons. So that's what happens to evil people. And yes, there is evil, and that's why they're evil, because they've gone outside of their soul contract and they've, went rogue, is what they say. They just say they've gone rogue. And so they're dealt with differently. Now, this is something that's going to blow your mind. People that have done evil, and we know what that means, right? Souls that have done evil and crossed over and gone through the process of that healing and been rehabilitated, whatever that means, whether they've gone to another existence or whatever that means, they've been truly rehabilitated and they circle back around and they get another chance at being on Earth. Those people are truly evolved souls. Truly evolved souls. Those are the ones that would be closer to saintly, or ascended. Because you have to, you don't have to, but of course, if your soul knows what it's like to be evil and has recovered from that, healed from that, You have a depth of experience in your soul that a lot of other souls don't have. You've gone on a journey that's been more, it's an expert. You're an expert. Because also some souls go down that dark alley and it's very hard to get them back. It's very hard to rehabilitate them. So if you can be rehabilitated and you can come back to this place of peace and this place of oneness with humans and with everything that's living, you're a special soul. I find that fascinating. I find that very fascinating. I mean, just think about somebody that you think about Jimmy Carter, right? Like, what if Jimmy Carter was an axe murderer, 50 lifetimes ago, and he was able to rehabilitate his soul and then refine it and refine it and refine it to purity, to this purity. That's a much different soul than a soul that came here and always stayed within the contract and always did what it was supposed to do and stayed pure, learned its lessons and got purer and purer and purer by learning its lessons. Can you understand the difference? That soul hasn't experienced it, nothing like someone that has done something evil and then come back and had the same lifetime as somebody who's never done anything evil, but has just worked on their contract through every. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. The depth of that person's soul is much bigger. They've experienced more. That makes them a more expert mastery level soul. Because they know what it's like to be the victim. They know what it's like to be the murderer. They know what it's like to be the giver and the taker. They've experienced it all. And those souls that have done that and been able to come back to earth, have been allowed to come back to earth, are really ascended masters, becoming ascended masters. Now, how does that make sense for Trump? How does that make sense for Hitler or anybody that you don't like? And let's ask. I mean, has Trump gone beyond his contract? Is he still operating within his contract, or has he gone to the evil side? Now, that's a question that's going to piss us all off, probably. No, they're saying he's gone too far. He went too far. In about 1982, 82, 3, 4, whatever he was doing during that time, that's when he, and that's what we say, sold his soul to the devil. We have all these colloquialisms, I can say it. These sayings. We have all these sayings to explain things. A little birdie told me, you're psychic. Hello, get over it. Sold his soul to the devil. Well, you went rogue. You went, even if your contract said you were supposed to do some pretty dastardly things, you went too far. Yeah, he went too far. And he's terrified. Do you know that? He's terrified. He's absolutely terrified of being judged. He thinks he's going to hell. He knows he's going to hell. So that's another problem with hell. Once people think they're going to hell, they just go ahead and crime on, right? I mean, it's like, what have I got to lose now? I'm already going to hell. I might as well do it all. That's the problem with that concept of hell. If you think your soul always has redemption, that you can stop at any point of your evil actions and be forgiven and loved, then you're likely at some point to stop. But if you think it doesn't matter, I'm going to hell anyway, then you're going to keep on. That's why it doesn't work. That's why that system of religion doesn't work. It keeps some people in place by fear, but others, they just crime on because they're going to go anyway. Why should I stop now? Doesn't matter. But if I told him, if you stopped right now, you would be met with love and compassion. You know, he's not going to continue. I mean, I wouldn't think that he would continue criming on just because he knows he's going to be met with love and compassion, but potentially so. Who knows? He's got free will. So hopefully this has made sense for you, and this has helped you understand a little bit about evil souls and how that works. And leave me a comment, would you please? Let me know what you think about this. I don't care if you disagree with me. There's no book. Nobody knows for sure, right? Who knows for sure is God, or whatever that is for you. I just know what my human understanding is, right? And my human understanding can only understand what it can understand. As I grow and ascend, I'll be able to understand more. And that's why some psychics say this is happening, and other psychics say this is happening. And some psychics say this is happening. We can only know what we're capable of wrapping our head around. Right? So I'm going to let you be the judge. You tell me. Let me know in the comments. Take really good care of yourself, okay? Take really, really good care of yourself. Hey, and I'll see you next Wednesday.